Going. All right. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big one for the podcast, and the boys are actually setting a record on the pod today. This is the third sibling we've had from a Northern Ontario family. However, this sibling in particular is a legend in Canadian women's hockey. Born and raised in Sudbury, Ontario, this person lit up every league on every stage she's played in with a career total of 406 points in 307 games. Yeah, she's got the scoring touch in the family. She knows a thing or two about winning with 2 Olympic gold medals, 1 World Championship gold, and 2 CWHL titles. She was even part of the 2020 NHL All-Star Games skill competition and 3-on-3 game. It is our honor to have on the Behind the Bench podcast, Rebecca Johnston. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Awesome. So what are you up to right now, Rebecca? And you're located in Calgary right now?
Yeah, I'm in Calgary right now. Right now it's obviously been a tough time. World Championships has been canceled, so I'm back home. I wasn't really expecting to be back home this early, but so now it's just, I think, continue training a little bit, but just here in Calgary and enjoying a little bit of off time right now.
All right, good
We'll
stuff.
we'll obviously get into the World Championships a little later, but we asked this question to everyone, Rebecca, like when did you start hockey, at what age? And obviously you had a very athletic family growing up. When did it all start for you?
Yeah, I grew up obviously in Sudbury, and I grew up playing with the guys. Actually, I started when I was 4 years old, and played in on the Llewellyn Park team, like an outdoor hockey league, which you don't see that nowadays. But I remember I was on the ice with my 2 older sisters and older brothers. So I was a lot younger than everyone, but I would just skate around. I just loved to skate, and that's kind of when I fell in love with hockey. When I was around 4 and 5 years old is when I started.
Unreal. What was it like growing up in a family with so many athletic siblings, especially with your 2 mutant brothers, Stevie and Ryan? How was it with that?
Oh, it's great. I mean, yeah, my brothers are something else for sure, but no, it was great. I mean, we have such a competitive family. We love sports. We all play sports. So that was a big part of our life. And I know my brothers really were competitive with me, and I, any sport, anything we were doing, if it was like hockey, outdoor rink, road hockey, soccer, basketball, we did everything. And so it's great to have a huge family, because that competitive drive is there between all of us, and we push each other. And so my siblings are a huge part of my success. And I don't think I could do it without them. They support me, and they push me growing up, just as an athlete.
Love it.
What was there a specific moment for you, Rebecca, that you realized that you want to pursue hockey, like on an individual standpoint? Was there any specific moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up, I was just I just wanted to play all the sports. I just loved sports in general. I played soccer, basketball, the track, and hockey were my mains. And I think at the point when I saw the 2002 Winter Olympics in Sydney, when the women and the men both won gold, that was kind of a turning point for me. I just,
Hold on. I think
saw the emotion and how national stage it was. It motivated me and inspired me. So that was kind of the point where I was like, I want to play for the national team. One day I want to represent my country. And I always knew hockey was, my first passion. And so didn't know what I could do with it until, at that point when I saw that Olympic gold medal, around those athletes next, I just knew that was a point for me where that was a goal I wanted to achieve.
And you mentioned track and field. From when Alex was telling me, you're actually a track star. You had 5 medals at OFSA and a bronze at the Canadian Junior Track and Field Championships. What did you run at track and field?
Yeah, I did 100, 200, and 400. So all the sprinting events. It was definitely a sport I guess I was good at, and I like to do it, but hockey was definitely a lot more fun for me.
Love it.
Going back a little bit to the hockey now, going away from the track and field, how would you describe your game to the listeners of who Rebecca is?
Describe my game?
Yeah, your hockey game.
I guess I would say
Sniper.
awkward, I guess. Yeah, well, I definitely, I'm a strong skater, so I power forward, I guess, but I've, evolved a little bit to more of a playmaker, and I just try to do the right thing at the right time. So I've definitely evolved my game into more of a skill-based game for sure. Scoring is definitely a goal of mine. Obviously, everyone likes to score, so try to do that as much as I can.
Love it. And you end up going to Cornell for hockey. So what was the decision behind that in the process? Were there any other schools on your radar that you were thinking of going to?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to go Ivy League. I mean, both my older sisters went to an Ivy League school. My older sister Harvard, the other one Cornell, and so those were definitely the two schools I was looking at. I mean, both of my sisters were role models for me, and I wanted to follow in their footsteps. So Ivy League was definitely number one. So if I couldn't get into an Ivy League school, Wisconsin or Minnesota was definitely my next choices. But Harvard and Cornell were the two that I was deciding from, and Cornell was just more of a school that suited my type of lifestyle from a smaller city. So Boston definitely intimidated me a little bit at Harvard. So I mean, Cornell was amazing, and I really don't regret that choice at all. Beautiful school, and you get an amazing education. So I don't regret that at all.
Well, for sure. And your game took off at Cornell. You had 188 points in 118 games. Unreal. So did you find your groove like right off the hop and just kind of kept rolling with it? Like your role on a team and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it did take me a little bit. It was tough because going into my first year at Cornell, we were not very good. I mean, the year before I got there, they only won 4 games. So it was challenging for sure my first year. I did well for sure, but it was definitely a different type of play for me. And then as our team, I mean, within the next couple of years, our team, did a 180 and we made the Frozen Four, top 4 in the nation. So, just as your team gets better and you have people to play with, it's just a lot easier, obviously, to be successful. So, but each year I kind of found my groove. I definitely improved throughout my 4 years there. I learned a lot. My coach was amazing. He was a player himself. He went to Cornell as well, and he was a goal scorer. He knew how to score. So that was something that he definitely taught me, and I learned a lot throughout my 4 years from him.
Unreal.
And in between your second and third year, you actually take a lap year, or a gap year. Yeah. I called it a lap year there. It's a gap year for the Olympics. What was like the training and preparation like before you headed into BC? Because that's obviously a whole year off before you go to the Olympics.
Yeah, it was a tough. I mean, obviously, to be asked to be centralized, there's 28 players that are asked to centralize. So everyone picks up and moves to Calgary to train for the Olympics. And for me, I was young, still in university, 19, and I obviously wanted to play for the Olympics, but it is a big decision. You're not guaranteed to go to the Olympics. You still have to try out that year, and you take a whole year off of school. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me, but at the same time, it is, putting your life on hold to follow this dream of yours. And so for me, I was obviously super excited to get that opportunity, and it was a crazy year. I mean, it's training every day where we played, I think, like 45 to 50 games in like 4 months, 4 or 5 months. And, we're just traveling all around Alberta, playing in the midget guys league, and training, playing against the US and then the Olympics. So it is quite the process. And I think the toughest thing is mentally just, it's basically a tryout for 6 months. Right. You feel like you have to be on every day, like they're evaluating you through everything. And, if you have an off day, it is really tough on the mental side of things. So I think I really learned a lot about myself. I obviously developed as a player, playing with these amazing players each and every day. But mentally, I think being able to get through that and be successful and make that team, I really grew as a player and a person.
And it obviously pays off because you guys end up winning that Olympics in 2010. What was it like winning on home soil? I couldn't imagine that.
Oh, it was, I mean, a dream come true. I I tried not to put pressure on myself to make that team because I was young and obviously I wasn't sure, what to expect going into
Right.
that. But I knew that this was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't think I would ever get that opportunity to play in Canada again at the Olympics. And so to be able to play in front of a home crowd and having 10 family members there all watching me, cheering me on was, a dream come true. And I remember the final game, everyone was wearing red and white. There was like 19,000 people in the stands and couldn't hear a thing. Like I was on the ice and like could not hear my line mates at all. It was so loud. So definitely the best atmosphere I've ever, played in front of and played, just to be able to play in front of a whole crowd at the Olympics is just a dream come true. And that doesn't come around often.
No kidding. I got chills. Eh, Alex?
Yeah, chills.
I got some
no
chills.
kidding. Yeah.
What was the celebration like after in the village, and obviously celebrating with your teammates? And you mentioned your family was there. What was the celebration like after?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I remember we, get our medals on the ice. We get in the dressing room and there's like beer everywhere and like we had like these gold, like basically this gold, I guess we had to win because we had these gold Nike high tops and like this whole gold suit that we had to wear or that we wore. And then just being able to go and see our families after. There was like a Hockey Canada house at the Olympics. So everyone just hung out there. And so all my family members were there. Everyone from the team's families were there. And so it was just a huge party after and celebration. And I mean, it's so special to be able to celebrate with your family, the people closest to you that supported you throughout your career, because they deserve it just as much as you do. I mean, my parents, my siblings were a huge supporter of mine. So to be able to share that with them was probably the most special.
So sick. Well, what a sick story. It's unreal. And then
Ryan and Steven couldn't come though.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta bug him about that. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
And you go back to back in Sochi in 2014. And what was that gold medal game like? Because you had a big part in it. You have an assist on the game tying goal, and then you have an assist on the OT winner. So just talk about that game. I mean, I remember watching it in my grandparents' basement and coming back in a minute, just going nuts. It was unbelievable. So yeah, take us through that.
It was. I mean, I'll never forget that game. It was a storybook ending for sure. Yeah. I mean, you can make a movie on that game alone.
Yeah.
It's funny because the entire game, like probably the last 10 minutes of the game was the most exciting. But we were down obviously 2-0 and we were able to tie it up with, I think 3 minutes left. We got 2 goals to tie it up. And I was fortunate enough to be on the ice for all the goals. And so, I was on for a lot of different things. There was when the puck hit the ref or the ref got in the way and the puck went right to the US player and then she shot it down in her open net and it hit the post. Like I remember I had like the perfect view of it going down and I was about to like just like slash the ref because I was so mad at the ref for getting in the way.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. Got right in the way.
I passed it up. I passed it up to the D and so anyway, the ref was kind of in the way, but anyway, so it worked out for us. I mean, we all joke about like the hockey gods being on our side there and wanting us to win. And I think just the way our team came together, being able to tie up that game, and then when everyone went back into the dressing room for overtime, everyone was just so calm and like confident and just knew that we were going to win and that we can do it. And probably the best team I've ever been on just in terms of like believing in each other, like everyone was so close. And I mean, having a team dynamic like that is huge. And that's part of why we were successful.
Unreal. Unreal story. And I mean, you guys play the States so many times. Like, how heated is that rivalry, and like, how deeply rooted is it up to this date? Like, you've played them so many times on a lot of the same girls. So,
yeah, we play them so much, but I honestly every single time we play them, I'm like so excited, and
Yeah.
the rivalry is for sure there. It's we do hate each other when we step on the ice, and I mean, there's two of the best teams in the world, head to head against each other, and it's honestly every single game. There's been some games that have been higher scoring games and bigger gaps between the scoring, but usually it's overtime or we lose or win by one game. So it's all super close, and any day it could go either way. So I think that's what makes it exciting. It's so competitive, and just every time you're on the ice, it's just a battle, and it's just a lot of fun to play.
Love it.
What was it like, Rebecca, playing with Haley Wickenheiser? Alex calls her the living, what do you call it, a living Canadian legend? Alex, that what you said?
I don't know. She's like to me right now the GOAT. That's what the GOAT of women's hockey.
Yeah.
I know Marie-Philippe Poulin, she's coming right up there. But I mean, Haley Wickenheiser was a pioneer for hockey. That's all we talk about when you hear Canadian women's hockey. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was I was in awe the first time. I remember, I was so young. I was 17 and I had made my first world championships, and I was an alternate, so I didn't play any games. But I practiced with the team, and then I would watch the games, and I just remember I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting beside Haley Wickenheiser right now. And she's a pioneer of the game. She's when everyone thinks of Canadian women's hockey, they think of Haley Wickenheiser. And so to be able to play with her, learn from her was incredible. She's just such a different breed. She's just so intense always. And she's at the rink. It's just she's just very much in her, to herself. She's just focusing on what she needs to do. And, and it would work for her, and she was successful. So it was amazing to be able to play with her. But, you learn so much from these players that have been around, and especially when you're young and just wanting to learn and get better.
No doubt.
No kidding. What's the process like after college going pro to the CWHL?
It's different. It's not like guys hockey where there's a bunch of leagues that you can play in, and there's a lot of options. And for girls, it's what we're struggling with right now is getting a league that's sustainable and that will last, and there's somewhere for us to play after college. And because there's a lot of really talented players,
for sure. But
we don't really have anywhere to play at the moment, except for the 23 players that are on the national team. There's not really much else right now, and so we need to be able to get something that will last, and for all these talented players to be able to continue playing after college. And it is an adjustment. When I made that adjustment, went from Cornell, where you feel you have everything you need at Cornell. At any university you go to, you have, ice time, you have locker room, you have any treatment you need, you get equipment. And then going to the CWHL, it was definitely a great league. It got better each and every year I was a part of it, but it is an adjustment. My ice times were at 9:30 at night. We didn't have, treatment every time you needed it. We didn't have a trainer for a team. There was just a lot of things that you wouldn't really expect. And these are just little things. I honestly just, you want to feel like you're treated like a professional, that you have access to these things. Especially when you're used to college, you go from college to now just not having all that. And so it is an adjustment, but as an athlete, you do whatever you can to stay fit and stay healthy. And so finding ice time or finding physio or people that you can work with wherever you are. So, but again, the CWHL was great to us. We had, a competitive league to play in, and I was able to win 2 Clarkson Cups with Calgary. So, I can't complain, and it was definitely a great experience.
Right. Oh, it's interesting you say that, how I guess the little things add up. And you expect to go from college to pro, that's the next step. So it's and to be honest with you, when you say physio trainer, to us, I don't know, that's just given when you think about pro anything professional, right? So that's interesting. You say that. I had no idea about that, but it's good. We're always learning, which I like about the pod. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and talk about rehab and physio. You actually came back from a significant injury lately. So how was the rehab
Yeah.
from that with your Achilles?
Yeah, it's going well. It was a tough year for sure with just
No doubt.
COVID and then suffering an injury like that. It was 2 months in a boot, couldn't walk. So I'm a very active
For
person.
sure.
So that was a big change for me. But I found ways. I was still able to work out in the gym with my boot on and do upper body and that kind of stuff. But it's been about 7.5, 8 months now, and on the ice I feel great. Like I feel almost back to normal, which is pretty incredible. But
Good.
off the ice, I'm still getting there. There's hurdles I need to overcome still. Still feel a little bit weak in my calf and everything because I lost all my muscle there because I wasn't able to use it. But I hear it takes a while for that to come back and to be able to be 100% off the ice. So I'm just fortunate I play hockey where you're more stable in a boot and you don't feel like it's not really high impact.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel pretty good on the ice. So that's all that really matters.
Good. Well, if anyone can come back, it's going to be Rebecca Johnston. That's for sure. So we're happy to hear that you're doing good. So let's talk about obviously what's gone on recently with the World Championship. So when did you find out the news and where were you located? Were you guys already in a bubble when it happened? And yeah, just kind of take us through what happened there.
Yeah. So we this year's been obviously a challenge for everyone, and so a lot of our camps have been postponed and throughout the year. Like normally we have a camp in September, we have the tournament in November, we have another series in December. So all that was canceled or pushed back. And so we had our first camp in January, then we had another one in March. And then the pre-world, we had a pre-world camp selection camp in Halifax. So we all flew out there. We all, were COVID tested I was COVID tested like 4 or 5 times. And throughout that week that we were there, week and a half. So it was really safe. I mean, we all were in a hotel. We all were isolated from each other. But yeah, we were basically the last day of camp. We were about to play our game, and we found out our last game that the Premier of Nova Scotia had canceled the World Championships. And I mean, we were all obviously devastated. I was shocked. I mean, we were all in Nova Scotia. We were all ready to go. Like it was crazy that all of a sudden, last minute, right the day before, everyone was about to arrive in Nova Scotia. It was canceled. So all the teams were prepping and ready to go. And so I think that's the hardest thing is like it never crossed my mind at all once we got there that
right.
And everything was safe. We all got negative tests that like anything would be canceled, like the tournament would be canceled. Like I never thought anything of it. So it was a huge shock for everyone, like Hockey Canada, the IIHF, like everyone was in shock. They really didn't think that it would have been canceled, especially that close to the event. So I don't know. I'm still digesting it. It's just weird. It's really devastating and heartbreaking because we obviously haven't had a World Championship. This will be the second year that it was canceled, especially for Nova Scotia. I mean, Nova Scotia is a huge, like they love hockey there and women's hockey. We would have had a lot of support for sure. And there's 2 girls on the team and our coach that they're all from Nova Scotia. So I felt for them, like they obviously have been so excited about it, being able to play at home and to have that canceled twice is devastating.
No, that sucks for sure. Were the other teams in the bubble already as well?
No, so they all kind of had their own bubbles, but they were so everyone was going to be chartered in. So everyone would charter into Nova Scotia, and then from the airport just straight to the hotel, from a bus straight to the hotel. And then we were bubbling. So we had to quarantine there for 8 days in a hotel room. You couldn't leave, like making sure we got, I don't know, 3-4 negative tests before we can start to practice and and
Right.
then join the tournament. So, I mean, it was pretty, like, the protocol was really, really strict, and it was
Right.
safe. And I don't think there was any way that there was going to be a spread of, if someone did have COVID, I think it would have been contained and fine. It wouldn't have spread to within the province. But again, the main thing for Nova Scotia is that, you want everyone to be safe, and it's tough times right now. So I guess in a way you have to respect the decision. But it was heartbreaking just because of all the prep. I mean, this whole year we're prepping for this tournament, and it's now changed to August, so at least there is a date. Yeah, there is a date, and at least we have that. It is definitely a different time to have a World Championship, but we'll adapt and figure it out. So
hopefully, hopefully we get that in. You guys deserve a tournament, no doubt. You guys deserve the best. It's not fair at all. So okay, let's move on. Tom, you got
I just have one more general before Mason steps in here for a couple of questions. Is like, can you see yourself coaching once you're done? Like, even I don't know, back home in Sudbury for a few years, or just getting into girls hockey coaching? Can you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, like, I thought about it. It depends. I really like doing skill sessions or things with 5, 6 people on the ice, and I definitely want to help the girls game as any way I can. But I really like to see the development, the growth of players, and so yeah, coaching. I don't know coaching for a career, but definitely want to help out any way I can and try to develop the game even more. And I mean, Sudbury's given me so much, so definitely giving back. I've done a lot of hockey schools and or little skill sessions whenever I come back home and to help some girls out, and I'll definitely continue to do that. That's an interest of mine, but I'm not sure about a career. I don't know if I want to coach this for a career, but
cool. Mace, I know you want to step in here to
Yeah, these are some burning questions for our fans. I guess to start, we'll just ask you, what's your thoughts on the arena situation? Do you think it should stay downtown, or do you think moving it kind of the Kingsway is the right way to go?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I don't know too much about like the what's going on there, but I definitely feel like Sudbury, like downtown, needs to develop and grow, like and be thriving more. Like, you need people around, and so arena could definitely help with that. I don't know about the space there, if there's enough space or anything. But I think just in general, Sudbury needs a new arena. So I'm down for wherever, just as long as they kind of get it done. Really.
Love it. Yeah.
We're at the conclusion too. We just need a new arena, but now we're also at the crossroads. What do we do with the stuffed wolf that's in the Sudbury Arena right now? Do you like the tradition of the wolf and the goal horn, or would you like to see that retired with the new barn?
I think they can figure out like a kind of a more up-to-date way of doing it. I don't know.
The pulley system. Yeah.
The pulley system, yeah. But I mean, I think I loved it as a kid. I thought it was awesome. So I mean, I think a lot of kids and stuff still would love that, but
I love it.
Maybe just update it a bit.
Yeah, love it. Next question before we get into our rapid fire here. Your golf game. What's your golf game like? We've seen a couple swings. I can tell you it's nicer than Stevie and Rise, in my opinion. But what's a golf game like?
I mean, I want it to be a little bit better. I don't get out enough for it to be consistent by any means. But I mean, I can hit the ball, and then sometimes it goes like sometimes I just don't know where it's gonna go. So I might need a couple lessons for sure.
Awesome, love it. All right, we're gonna head into a little segment we call the Fast Five. So it's 5 rapid fire questions. Whatever comes to the top of your head, just let it rip, and we'll send it over to Tom.
All right. The first question is, what is your most memorable goal in your career?
Oh my God. These are supposed to be fast.
We make them hard on
Oh my
purpose.
God. I think not Frozen Four. Four Nations. I scored in overtime against the U.S.
Love it.
Nice. Okay. If you were to
I can't
go,
remember what year.
I can't remember what year. If you were to go pro in any other sport, what would it be?
Probably tennis.
Like it.
Ooh,
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Not saying I'm good at tennis. I just think like it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Most famous person you've met?
Gosh, I met
Hey, there's so many.
Celine Dion.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Favorite high school teacher?
Favorite high school teacher. Mr. Ward.
Okay. And then last one, we always ask everybody this, is favorite Sudbury restaurant?
I would say Respect is Burning, but like I don't even know. I haven't been like, did that burn
No.
down?
It did, but
No.
it has been revived. The
Well,
Red
it's been
Fang Tavern.
revived.
That's Stevie's number one spot. Loves the
Yeah,
Fang.
Steven loves that spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say there.
Awesome. Okay, that's different. That's the first time we've heard that one. Love it. Okay, so that's gonna do it for the interview. Rebecca, thanks so much, for making the time and coming on with us. Means the absolute world. We're so excited to get this one out. So thank you so much for coming on.
No, thanks for having me.
Awesome.